Hi, and welcome to our Chronically Cubed podcast series. Yeah. How are you doing, Kay?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. As you can probably hear, I am a little bit sick,
Yeah,
but we're getting through life. So yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I hope you recover extra soon. I'm doing
Thank
good. I've been trying to just work on my projects constantly, and yeah, I am being occupied. So this is good.
you. Yes.
Um, so I think I was thinking of like today we could maybe talk about something that is we have talked many times before, which is like the struggles we experience as artists, and in the it all extends to our struggles as people being artists, I guess. So um do you want to start? Like, what do you think is like the main struggle of being an artist?
I reckon this is probably like a universal thing, especially like in this day and age. It's sort of like the actual creation of work is only like a small part, right, of all the other things that we need to do. So, for example, obviously we need to consistently be creating work, but then we need to make sure that we're discoverable so people can like find us, people can see us, people can connect with us. So that involves things like social media and being online and connecting with other artists. And also, I think, depending on where you're based, but sort of going to events and things like that as well. And that can be very time consuming as well as sort of like emotionally consuming in the sense of always having to go, oh, where do I have to be next? Where do I need to go? And then, not to mention, all these different platforms and all the platforms that do exist are also sort of ever evolving as well. I think that's sort of like the overall umbrella, but what do you reckon?
Yeah, I totally agree. It's like exhausting, overwhelming, and we have to be constantly on know about everything all the time, which is like a big block of creativity because it's also like when can I pause and create, right? Um, Do you think like um, anxiety plays a role in how this whole thing like manifests along with all these parameters around it?
That's a good question. I think yes is my answer, but to go deeper, I like to answer it in a deeper sort of level. I guess, yeah, it's sort of like because so much of it is unknown and because there's so much to do, it just feels like it's a never-ending sort of journey, right? And there's so much of it is very like heightened
Mm.
in a sense that that makes the sort of anxiety part come out, I think. What do you
Mm.
reckon?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think anxiety is something that kind of like spreads into all these things. It like little creaks. Um, yeah. I think I want to ask, what do you think is like maybe the main blockage or like the what causes like the the most anxiety like spiral like for you at least like what's that thing that's like
That's a good question. No, yeah. For me, probably my like biggest thing is overthinking.
Hmm.
So I just get into like the spiral. We've had conversations similar to this as well, and I'm sure you've had experiences like this as well, and I'd love to hear it. But it's just going, oh, I have this idea, and it's good if I can just get onto it and just do it and then test it, say like put it into like a reel and put it out there and see what people think, for example. But more often than not, you just sit there with this half-finished project and you kind of go, oh, what am I doing with this? And then it just becomes this whole big thing that no one is expecting. No one is like waiting for you yet. You
Yeah.
have to like finish it in order for it to be right or for it to be worthy of other people to see. So you just like keep working on it, but you've like lost your passion almost, or at least the initial drive. So you're like, oh, I owe it to myself to finish it, but I don't have that initial passion, and it's like, what do I do? So yeah, I think that's one of the biggest ones. I kind of went on a tangent there, but how
No,
about
no,
you?
that's what I want to hear. I love like the personal dive.
Mm,
Um, I firstly I want to agree, and I think it's also due to the neurodivergence that we can't like finish only one project. It's best for us to work like multiple projects or like leave something to finish it later. But I think as the years pass by, there I think we build an acceptance that some projects will never be finished, and I think there is also a tension between building an identity out there versus being an artist like in a safe private space, which is
true,
it's like
true,
very
true.
different, and it's very difficult to combine all these in a great way. Like for me, I think my biggest struggle, which is related to what we're saying, is like identity and the fact that I am like a jack of all trades. So I totally resonate with the overthinking and like constantly asking myself, how will I be perceived through that, and how most of the times wrongly I am going to be perceived by that, because I'm like, I have so many layers. I don't know how to channel that, or like yeah, just constantly overthinking. And I think sometimes the word chaotic or like scattered kind of gets me down, because it's like it's not like we don't have examples. At the same time, we have many examples of people who do things like more organized. So I think it's also with the social media and so many people being creative, there's also an unavoidable comparison aspect into everything. I think that's the just the scrap of the surface of the whole thing
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me.
That's super interesting. How would you cope not with yourself, but like with the sort of situation when you feel yourself getting anxiety or like getting triggered, for example? Is there anything that you do to help
Yeah.
yourself?
No, I love this question. I have something in me that gets powered by being angry. So whenever I feel like I'm not doing like justice to myself by the state I'm being in, and not always, right? I just power through it more. At least that's what I'm doing more consistently recently, because I think when you go through the same cycle again and again, you kind of get used to the pattern and it's easier to spot. So you're like, I see you now, and you're not going to fucking ruin this for me, you know? Like, no,
Yeah.
no. I mean, I think it also depends on the case. If it's like, so, if I identify that there is like an emotional underlying of other things, sometimes I'm like cheesy and I'm like, I need to feel this. I need to let it consume me. But I think I personally really need, and I'm trying to build structure in my create like the whole thing because I'm scattered. So um, I just try and put timers, and I'm like, I don't give a shit what you tell me. I'm going to do this. And you know, it's kind of true because most of the time we create something and we have no idea where it will go. So
Mm.
it's like I think it's not only others and how they will perceive us. We're judging it before it has even started. And it's like so silly, right? I think that's another like blockage, part of the blockage. Yeah.
So when you like feel that feeling coming along, what do you do? How do you stop it? You might have
What do
already
you,
answered this, but
mm, yeah, I don't believe that there is a way to stop it. I
mm,
think there is a way to uh, like for me at least, move the focus, the focal point that I have into something else. So that's why I'm saying timer. So that means, because I know both me and you work with pressure, right? So I'm like, I need to pressure myself that I need to do this. So I think slowly and with practice, I'm kind of achieving it, but I constantly, like, it pops, right? It's normal. It pops right back in. But I do have some days that it consumes me, and I think that it's okay. Yeah.
Right, right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
What do you, I'd like to like pass the question to you. Like, what do you do? Like when that feeling comes, like how do you deal with it when you like go into an anxiety spiral, or like it's like very intense and it's kind of like sabotaging what you are trying to do? Yeah.
Mm. I'm still like working on it to be honest, but at least for now, I sort of give myself space first because I know that in that state I can't be creative, I can't be productive.
Mm,
So I just try to like go on a walk or like try, like you mentioned as well, having like multiple things on my plate or like on my
mm,
to-do list. So I go do something else to just sort of maybe something that's really easy or like
mm,
not that brain consuming. So then I go and do that for a bit and then it gives me that sort of kickstart of motivation because I get that one thing done. Then I can come back and be like, okay, let's tackle this big thing that is blocking me or annoying me or frustrating me because then I'll have a little bit more of like I would be able to like step away from it, I guess,
mm,
and sort of see it from like a wider perspective rather than just being all the way in it and for it to be like consuming me.
mm,
But I think that's the only sort of tactic that I have now. Does it work sometimes? Not all the time. So I'd love to like know other ways, at least of them, to have as like a toolbox, to try
mm,
and test them out when things get hard. So then I can go, oh, this works and that doesn't, but this works and this is the situation, sort of thing.
mm,
Yeah.
mm. Yeah, no, I love that because you're both like getting yourself out of the situation and then that bubble. But you're also like doing something else. It's still like a task of the list, right? So that also I think it works for
Hmm.
us because it's like giving us dopamine. Okay, I can do more things now, or I can come back to it. So that seems like a
Yeah.
great technique to me, and um, I think it's a constant experimentation, right? And there is like also the acceptance that we're human and sometimes it's not going to work, and also that these things take time. Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, as long as we're trying, and finding new ways, or like figuring these things out and see how they play out, I think that's all that's needed. I'm sure that everyone in a maybe in a different way is coping with these kind of things, and like anxiety especially. Yeah.
Mm, 100%. Why don't we go like deeper? I would love to hear sort of from like a 3D creation
Mm,
perspective. Maybe we can take it back for a second,
yeah.
like further in the sense of I'd love to hear sort of like coming up with ideas. What are things that sort of, I don't know how I'm phrasing this, sorry, but sort of like coming up with ideas. Are there any sort of techniques that you have with when you
Mm.
get stuck or feel sort of like you don't know where you want to go next sort of thing? Sorry, I'm really vague with this question.
No, no, I
But
think I get
yeah,
it.
if you have any.
Yeah. Um, I think this is something that only recently has kind of started to sprout. I've always had trouble with
Oh,
this. Yeah, sprout. Um, but, but yeah, I think because like right now I'm trying to also focus on a more like product design and like commercial direction. I've been like freaking out that I'm like kind of letting some parts of myself or all the stuff I've done on the side. And I'm like, no, you silly. You can just like try and mix things. Like I
Mhm.
think that's the way and I like it because it's challenging. Like when the idea is not ready, I I also try and search everything I've done in the past or all my Notion stuff. And yeah, sometimes like with the help of ChatGPT, I think it's really helpful because you just like throw up all of your mental like ideas that you cannot define and it just structures it. And I think um that's the kind of clarity I need that it would take me much longer to um find otherwise. Um but yeah, sometimes some some ideas come into like dreams and like um maybe I'm just sitting. I think all artists have that. We're just sitting and we just have a vision. It can be
Yeah.
like visual or just an idea. And it's like, okay, that's it. I might not know how to do this, but I am at least charged enough to try it. But yeah, I think I'm not sure if I have like pinpointed specifically, but I think these are some ways. What about you? Do you have like any way that helps you find new ideas when you're stuck?
Yeah, I think I'm like quite similar to you in a sense. I constantly have, so I use platforms like Pinterest, obviously.
Yeah.
I think that's like the go-to for a lot of artists to sort of just have a constant bank of sort
Mm.
of ideas. So one day I'll be like, oh, I should make that into like a digital fashion piece, for example. So I have a board dedicated to just that one thing, so that one day when I do make it, or maybe I have made sort of like a few pieces around that, I can always come back to that sort of like initial idea that I had. And sometimes that surprises me, and I'm like, oh, I thought that was like a good idea that I had,
Mm.
and it might be relevant again. And so you can sort of like keep going back and forth with those ideas and creating a system for yourself. Like you mentioned Notion, for example, having like an idea bank or like a system or like a space where you just put all your ideas, whether it's organized or not, to have it in a place. I'm still quite scattered. I have like the notes app on my phone, for example, where it's just like random words, and I come back to it and I'm like, what do I mean by that? Like, what was I trying to say? And sometimes I remember, sometimes it's always a mystery from there on. But yeah, having those sort of places, what else do I do? So those two are probably my main ones. And yeah, so I'm always intrigued, like what other artists, what other creators do to sort of have that sort of system. But yeah, ours seem to be quite similar, which I love. So yeah. How do
Mm.
you structure your Notion? How do you use that?
That's what I wanted to say. I think in a way, what you do is much better. Like it's better to have it in the notes. I think I have like all the organization apps and I'm just like spamming unorganized things to each one. And in Notion, I'm like, now I'm going to get organized. And I like organize everything. Like it's like I had like a company because I love organizing. But then I like organizing, but I don't come back frequently. Like I'm not checking up. So, or I have different ones for different years or different things. I am like, instead of having one big thing where I can search everything, I have folders inside the folder inside the thing, and it's like I like only searching for the folders is taking me half an hour. So I think it's just not working that well. I think it's good to like have a structure, but a structure that works personally and that is flexible. Like being either over organized if it doesn't truly work, like isn't working that great. But yeah, I think around the inspiration, I think it's not just, it's both Pinterest, but it's also like socials. There are some unexpected moments where you just uh see something amazing and it's like, I want to do this. So I think it's also hard to gather all these references from all these different points. Um, and also there is sometimes where, I don't know, sometimes I forget to save things and I try to come back either to history. It's like doing a big research of disorganization. Um, but yeah, there was something else that I want to talk about that I forgot. So please go
All
ahead
right.
and continue if you can and save me, please.
That's all right. That's all right. No, it's interesting. I think like we should do like a open like panel talk or something about this and just have like it doesn't even need to be all of us at the same time. Even if we could do like just
I think the thing that helps with like both the organization and overthinking and everything for me, it maybe it's a realization, it's also a practice, but it's like um I think it's a boring advice. No one wants to do like the boring simple things, but it's which is something I've been afraid of, like as much as we can appear, these things will start shrinking or like having less power over us. Like this is what I have noticed when I start just appearing, no matter what I think or in what state I am. Um, it just kind of shrinks. I feel more confident, both in like that I am chaotic, like I'm trying to own it at least, right? And in the fact that like there are not so many limitations when you appear, you can improve, right? So as long as we improve, I think those voices don't have uh they can't really be as aggressive because there is proof that they can be like there are false claims like rejected.
No, yeah, I agree. I think especially when it's your first time doing anything, like anything, whether it's creating art or creating content or whatever, there's so many different options and so many different sort of elements you need to sort of consider, right? So it's not just about, oh, I'm going to paint this picture. It's like, well, what are you going to do with the painting that you've pictured, that you've created? Are you going to put it on social media? If you're going to put it on social media, you're going to do BTS work. Are you going to do, like a behind the scenes sort of
Mm,
footage? Do you need a camera? Do you need a this? Do you need a light? Do you need someone doing the footage for you, for example? Like that's obviously just one version of it, but
mm,
we need to do that like every single time, right? And there's so many decisions to be made, but once you've done it once, you can go, oh, I'll just tweak this one thing next time,
mm,
but I'll just do the rest the same. So you know what to expect, you know what
mm,
to like think about, so it becomes almost like systemized, so it
yeah.
becomes easier and it's less things for you to be, oh, what about that? What about this? How am I going to do that? And it becomes easier and easier as you go. So yeah, I love what you just mentioned in that sort of sense of it becoming easier or more smoother and
Mm,
there being less sort of like noise around you.
mm.
And I definitely agree with that.
I think this is something we're already experiencing with what we're doing here, right? It's
Mm,
getting, even though
yeah.
it's still the start, but it's not the first episode right now. Um, it's I personally feel like almost zero anxiety, and I'm like I feel more
Mhm.
excited to do this than anxious right now. So like I can't wait how this is going like to expand as time passes by, and like I also I saw like the our first episode compared to like our second, and it's still miles away. And no, I love that. I love it because if we're having such fast progress, that says a lot. And it also expands to, as we said, like to all the other aspects, to our art, to design, and generally to our lives and how we like manage anxiety. And I think it's just appearing to fear, not giving our power to fear. Like I think everyone, literally everyone is scared, and we have a decision to make. Are we going to like let the fear have power over us, or are we doing this thing? And like questions like, is it going to kill me? Okay, or like, what is truly going to happen if I do this? What are the actual consequences? And most of the times they are so minor. So I think that helps like to ground it in that way.
Mhm. 100%, 100%. Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. I was definitely thinking about this as well when I was making that last comment. So it's like, oh, it becomes so much easier. We're only on our third episode, which is crazy because it feels like we've done so many more than that
Yeah,
already, which is a
same.
good thing. Right, right, right. It's weird. It's like, oh, it's only a third one. It's like crazy. But yeah, we'll see more and we'll get better and we'll get even more ideas and our like
Mhm.
conversations will get deeper as well. Obviously, we're still on like that surface level sort of conversation still, but I'm excited to do more like fun things as well. And
Yeah,
yeah, it's exciting to see where we go. I think this is like a good place to sort of wrap this conversation up. We can
yeah,
just like bring it to an end and hopefully we'll see everyone next time as well. So we do these episodes, we're trying to do them at the moment weekly, and we'll get them out as we edit them. But hopefully you like what we've been talking about. We obviously will go more deeper as we go, and it's just about two girls, neurodivergent, we think. And yes, we're a little dance. And we're artists, we're creatives, we do a lot of things actually in the space as well. So it's just us coming on and having a conversation. If there are any conversations that you want us to have, or any topics that you want us to cover, definitely let us know because we would love to be relevant, be in a way sort of have fun with you as well. And obviously we also would love to have guests on here eventually, hopefully, fingers crossed. So, if you'd like to be a part of that, definitely let us know, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.
bye, thank you.
Bye.